Check, check, check. Is this thing on? Hey, is this mic on? Okay. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I have something interesting that I really want to talk about, and it's coming from my own personal experience. I actually made a TikTok about it, which is what inspired me to make this longer form video, because it's on my heart, and honestly it's been on my heart since I was in middle school, and I just want to dissect it a little bit, and maybe someone out there can relate to this, and if you can, please share your experience in the comments, because it's nice not to feel so alone, But in this TikTok I shared, it was basically about how when I was in middle school, I basically felt like I needed to shrink myself to make other people feel comfortable. And what that actually looked like was whenever I shared an interest, a experience, or a hobby, it always felt like it was something that I wasn't supposed to like. Someone like me isn't supposed to have interest, and that made me feel so lonely. It made me feel like an obscurity, and it honestly is never nice to feel ostracized. So of course, naturally, I felt like sharing my opinions didn't really matter, and to save myself from that pain of judgment, I just stopped sharing. I became socially anxious, and talking to people kind of was just scary. So yeah, sharing myself in any meaningful way to get people to know me better was just like a no. It was just a sad, pathetic no. I'm 25 now, and I don't want to carry that with me. That learned behavior from when I was like, let's say 12 years old, all the way until my early 20s, I carried that, and that anxiety, that fear of judgment, of being laughed at and feeling weird, it kept me from connecting with people in any real meaningful way. And it just made me shy. It made me feel like I literally had to shrink myself. Like, people would always say, wow, you're so quiet. And it's like, yeah, I'm scared that if I say something, you're gonna call me weird, or you're gonna call me this, or you're gonna call me that, and I don't want that. So I'll just like stand here awkwardly like this, like, and people would be talking. Imagine like a big group of people, and there's my awkward ass just standing there like, and keep in mind, I'm standing there, I'm quiet, I like deadpan face, but in the inside it's like, oh my god, I like this thing too, I want to share my input, but oh my god, I'm so scared that no one is going to like what I have to say. They're gonna think that it's weird, it doesn't make sense, or why do you like stuff like that? And so yeah, I must say, for the past few years I have broken out of my shell, and that is all because I decided to find information on how to not be shy anymore, and actually get to the root of why I was so scared to put myself out there. Thank goodness for the internet, and thank goodness for me having the initiative to change something about me that I didn't like, because I didn't like being like that. That is not naturally who I am. I was a very vocal kid. Like, I shared what was on my mind. I danced, I sang, I talked to any and everybody with little to no fear. I was a pretty bold girl, but maybe you can relate to this. There's only so much like negativity you can take before you find whatever coping mechanism you need to get you through that, and mine was silence. And it wasn't all bad in middle school, but at the time it felt like the world around me was like shrinking in on me, and it was the first time in my life where I felt like I was like the odd one out, an ugly duckling. And that, like, just hearing all of that, like, negative, this isn't for you, who do you think you are, all the way honestly up until my 20s, like, God forbid, a black girl decide to explore the world around her in a way to figure out what she genuinely likes and why, you know? It is exhausting trying to fit into what people want me to be. And you know what obsessed me the most? Like, whenever I would push back, it was always like, how dare you? How dare you break my reality? And how dare you not fit into the stereotypical box that I tried to place you in? It's making me have to confront why I have the perspective that I do, you know? And even though I may have become a shy girl, I never let them change me. Never let them change what I like, because you can't. I'm so proud of myself for never changing my interests, for never changing my dreams, for never trying to fit into what people wanted me to be. Maybe I wasn't as vocal as I would have liked to been. Maybe I wasn't, a social butterfly, but I still stood tall in the things that I liked. And to this day, I still enjoy the same things I did when I was in middle school. I never let anybody tell me, because of what I look like, because of where I come from, I can't like a certain thing, because that's such a limited belief system. The world is so big, and I'm a very curious, explorative, spontaneous person, and there was no way that I was only ever going to be completely and utterly grossed in what everybody else liked at the time. That's just not who I am. And I'm just so glad that I never forced myself to be a part of it, to fit in. Yeah, so like that's been on my mind. I'm glad that I got that out. And I'm glad that I shared that TikTok, because I know I'm not alone. I hear so many girls, especially black girls, share this same experience. I want to be another voice to show you that, yeah, these things are real. They still happen to this day. People are still gonna have something sideways to say about what I like and how I choose to live my life. Whereas when I was, a kid who was still developing a sense of self, let that, negatively affect me as an adult, like Octavia right now. I look at them and I'm like, oh my God, of course you would say something like that. You only know what you've personally experienced, and if you haven't had the drive, the initiative to experience something else outside of you, of course you would have a perspective like that. And it's not my burden to carry to change your mind and help you see the light. It's not my job, and I don't have to take it personally. Yeah. And I think that's why my connection with my friends are so strong, because I can always just be myself with them, and I can share my deepest thoughts with them and not feel like they're going to criticize me or make me feel strange. It's getting pretty cold out, so I'm gonna go home now. I made a chicken and wild rice soup from scratch, inspired by Panera, but I made it better and more flavorful. I'm going to watch Netflix. I'm gonna watch Netflix, and maybe I'm gonna make some more cookies from scratch. I think I'm gonna have a very eventful, peaceful night. And I'm excited, but I do want to write like a few thoughts in my journal. So yeah, stick around, there's more to see here, folks. So I've been trying to sneak more vegetables into my diet and get those vitamins that I wasn't getting before. I was like severely iron deficient. I had to take a month of iron pills, and I'm actually going to get blood work done again to see if I'm still iron deficient, because I'm still having the symptoms of like fatigue, fogginess. Every time I get up, I feel like I'm going to faint. I'm tired all the time. So yeah, that's why I have the spinach and these mushrooms. I'm just trying to put more nutritionally dense foods into my diet, because I know that it's necessary. I know that it's good for me, and in the long run, I'm going to see like, great benefits, right? So yeah, I get to eat well, treat myself well, and yeah, live well.